Hello, Aries. Thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm going to use the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Where am I going with this? Already shuffled. Relationships first, single is second. I'm feeling like already like I'm skipping a beat, so that's interesting. Alright, Aries. No. Okay, so it's funny because I've seen this before, and I'm getting like I'm skipping a beat. And people have mentioned, well, I don't feel like it happens all too often, but for example, I'll read the Aries side and the partner side, and I've had people say, well, it was flipped for me. Like, what you read for the Aries was actually my partner, what you read for my partner was actually me. So I'm wondering, like, how many people this is going to happen for, because I feel like it's like a half and half type thing going on here. Like, some of you are going to connect with the Aries side, but some of you are going to connect with the partner side. I get this weird feeling. Because I'm feeling like I'm skipping a beat already. Like, I'm just like... And it's almost like a toss-up which side of the fence you ended up on. But it's definitely a situation going between you and your partner. And I'm getting it's kind of about you looking at the situation, is the cup half full or half empty? And I feel like you would like to believe it's half full, but based on what's been going on and around the situation, that's what's actually coloring your opinion. Which that seems normal, but okay. Now, currently, I'm getting you're very happy, but I'm getting like you and your partner and whatever components are going on around your relationship that you're both connected to socially. Everything seems to be going very well. Get like happy social times, good things going on. You know, everything feels good. Now, I'm getting that's your side. Your partner, though, I feel like your partner sees something else going on. I'm getting your partner's holding some things at bay and trying to keep some people from annoying you. Even in some instances it might be a situation or two they're trying to hold back from you. Not in like a secretive try to hide it from your view, but just trying to keep it back from annoying you or like aggravating you in some respect. Cuz I feel like they're dealing with a couple things here. Because these are the challenge cards for your partner are is it the seven? I think it's the seven. My fingers over. Seven of Cups and the Three of Wands, but the Seven of Cups is definitely trumping the Three of Wands. I'm thinking they're trying to figure out how to handle something. But the Seven of Cups, it feels like there's confusion. It feels like they're really kind of scattered about what they want to do. They're seeing something that's a little off. They're holding it back. I feel like they're successful with holding it back and keeping it from your view, keeping it from becoming an aggravator to you. Again, it's not secretive. It's just like trying to keep things smooth sailing. But they're trying to find a way to actually handle this. But I feel like the reason the seven is on front is because they're thinking of ways to handle this, but they want to keep it from aggravating you. I feel like that's really what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep it out of your view. But still, it's weird. It's coming through, not like they're trying to keep a secret, but it's like they're already aware of like how you're going to feel about it, and they're just trying to make it so you don't have to deal with it. For example, if you found out about this tomorrow, I don't feel like you'd be upset about it that you didn't know ahead of time. I feel like you'd be more like, yeah, well, yeah, I didn't really want to see that anyway, or I didn't want to really have to deal with that if I didn't have to. I don't feel like you'd be aggravated if you realized that your partner's holding this back and trying to take care of this on their own so it doesn't aggravate you. I don't feel like that would annoy you because it's just one of those situations where it is what it is. I also feel like you know more than you're letting on anyway. You know the situation perpetuates. It's not something new. It's something that it's already there, and it's just kind of always there. Is kind of what I'm feeling. At least it feels like it at the moment. It's like a continuing situation, and like that's another reason I don't feel like you would be upset. It's because you know roundabout that something's going on over there. It's just not in your face at the moment. And you're okay with that. I don't feel like you're realizing why it's not in your face, but even then, when you realize it's your partner trying to handle it and keep it away from you, you're just like, oh, well, that's nice. Like, that's nice. I don't feel like it bothers you. But the problem, the challenge cards for your partner is trying to find ways to keep dealing with it without making you have to deal with it. And that Seven of Cups is blocking the Three of Wands. They can't seem to take flight and make something happen here is what the problem is. And I'm getting that's really why these two cards together come through as the challenge. Too scattered, can't seem to figure out something to take flight on and take action on. And I feel like they're going to have to involve you at some point, and they're really hell-bent on not doing that. We good? Okay. Now, this comes in first. Okay. You got the King of Pentacles with the listen to your intuition. I still get it. It's a perpetuating situation is what it feels like to me. And you know there's something going on over in this one sector. Like, I don't feel like you realize that your partner's doing what they're doing to try to keep it from bothering you, but you know something's going on. You know that situation is still going. Like, and your intuition is kind of nagging at you. I feel it in the future here. It's kind of like, you probably should check up on that. You should probably touch base before, see what's going on now, and so you don't have to deal with it later, or at least nip it in the bud now. Like your intuition's like, you're just having those little inklings like, I don't really want to deal with that situation, or whatever that person, whatever it may be. But you're like, I'm going to have to sooner or later. I suppose I should just jump in and deal with it. Don't really want to, but I suppose I should. And I feel like you're kind of having this hem-ha feeling about it. But I feel like your intuition is pushing towards you, like, find out what's going on there. You're having those inklings, like something's up. Something's up, but you're like, do I really want to see? Do I really want to know? I'm like, I probably should know. And you're just kind of like, all right. I almost feel like that's when you finally go forward and figure out what you want to do to find out what's happening. You're just like, oh, all right, fine, all right. Because it's kind of like a perpetuating situation. You're not expecting it to be good, and you really don't like the situation anyway, but you're like, I have to get involved with this and find out what's going on there, whatever the situation is. Now, I'm getting you're trying to find out, because I do feel like you're like touching base with your partner, because your partner's connected with this too, clearly. And I feel like you're touching base with your partner. That's where you seem to start, and they're just like, it's fine, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, I can take care of that. Don't worry about it. Because I feel like they're doing the Four of Pentacles thing here. Like, they're just like, no, it's fine. No, I got it. It's fine. No, nothing's happening. Don't worry about it. Because they don't want it to aggravate you. And I feel like this is you're just kind of like, I just feel like you're looking at your partner, you're like, no, it's not fine. Like, come on. Like, it's not fine. I almost feel like you're kind of like amused by this. You're like, it's not fine. You're like, no, there's no way it's fine. No, come on. And they're like, I'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. I'll keep an eye on this or that. And you're just like, no, I need to own my piece of it. What's going on? And they're just kind of like, I feel like they don't want to. They're trying to really, spiritually, they're trying to juggle it out. They're trying to, like, not make you have to deal with it. I do get, for some of you, your partner feels like the road could be smoother if they just let you go to the side on it. And they, like, just kind of lean on you for the extra guns when they need it. You know what I mean? Like, the extra support when they need it. So they're trying to not... I just feel like they're trying to pull it back. Like, if I just handle it myself, it's easier for my partner. And maybe the situation will just be fine. But if it gets a little rough, I can pull in my partner and have that extra backup if I need it. There's a weird sense of, like, trying to balance it out. Like, it's almost like they're trying to keep you in reserves. And they're just like, if they need you, they want to be able to call on you, but they don't want you to get overwrought with the situation, I want to say. They're kind of looking at it like, you get involved in the situation and you get aggravated fairly quickly, and it just feels like they have to keep you happy and the situation happy, and it just becomes more. It becomes worse. Is what I'm getting. They're worried that like you you legitimately get upset is what I feel, and they look at it that way. But they're feeling like if you stay on the outside of it, you don't have to be aggravated about it, and it might go a little smoother. Because I'm getting you have a less a smaller a less what like a less favorable view of the situation than your partner. I feel like you get aggravated quick with it, to be honest with you, and you might be a little sharp. And your partner here is kind of like well, maybe a little more sugar would work for right now, but I like to have the vinegar available if I need it. But I think I could handle this a little better with a little bit more sugar. I'm getting there's a little bit of diplomacy here, and they're feeling like they like you as backup because they're like, if I need that strength, you clearly have it, but if I don't really need this strength, I feel like this situation could go smoother. They look at you like the big guns, and you come in gun toting ready to shoot people up. Like that's how they're looking at you. Is how I feel. This is weird because I'm wondering. I'm connecting with that side, and I'm getting like a nervous feel. Like they don't want you to realize that they think you're a little harsh. I feel like they're trying to hide that. They don't think you're wrong. They're just feeling like it's better to have you more, as a backup. Like if the situation calls for it and they need that extra strength, they can call on you to help them when needed. But they're thinking for the most part, if they just handle it with a bit more sugar, it may be easier for everybody, including you, because it's not a situation you like to be involved with anyway, is what I'm getting. So I feel like that's what they're hiding. They think that you're a bit sharp, and they think it's warranted and necessary at times, but they understand where you're coming from. Like I feel like they get that. But instead of having you constantly aggravated about the situation, like having you on the outside lessens your stress about it, and also it seems like they feel like the situation goes smoother. But they definitely need you. I hope that came across right. I have some areas in my chart that I usually connect with that pretty strongly at times. So I'm wondering how I would take that, like, because I feel like I would partly be annoyed. Like, listen, listen. If people don't like what they're hearing, that's too bad because they brought it on themselves. But the other part of me is kind of like, it's not like I like to start crap, but it's one of those situations like I connect to that Aries energy in the sense of like I don't really like to fight, but I'd rather fight than let a problem persist. Like if I need to, I will. I don't go looking for it, but if it needs to happen, then it needs to happen. I can argue it out. I can do what I have to do. I'm not gonna play doormat for somebody though. That's for sure. I have that kind of feel. I'm connecting with that on the Aries side. So I don't know how this is matching, but I feel like your partner just wants you to realize that they definitely need you. They definitely value you, but they're feeling like when you see something wrong, you just go direct for it, and you're just like, let's deal with it. And they're kind of like, maybe we could be a little bit more kid glove with it, a little bit more sugary, and they could go a little better. That's how they're feeling. But they definitely value you. They just feel like you're like, problem, deal with problem. And they're like, well, we can take it a little easier. Is that what we're trying to get to? I feel like this is going on a little bit long. I'm going to move on from that. But again, spiritually, you don't really want to be involved with this situation any more than you have to. So I feel like if you'd rather not be involved that much, like I feel like this is saying that's good. Just let your partner do what they want to do. The situation is going to be the same either way because your partner is keeping an eye on it. And I'm getting kind of like the wheel is turning. I feel like you're realizing this. I feel like you're realizing that your partner is. I feel like that might not be as much of a secret as maybe I thought it was. Because the wheel turns, your challenge is to let the wheel turn in your favor. And to like stay on the outside of it. You have the Knight of Wands here, very fire to me, but I'm getting where you're standing. You can just kind of stay flying on the perimeter. I mean, he's not a bird, not for nothing. But you can fly around the perimeter. You can just be available when necessary, but if your partner wants to handle the majority of it, and prefers it to be that way, and you don't really want to be a part of it anyway, no harm, no foul. Up to you. Because I'm getting what helps you is the Hermit card. Backing off from the situation and just letting your partner handle it. And if they need your help, you're like, I'm here for you. Because it's still something you feel like you have responsibility to, but I feel like you trust your partner to handle it. And I feel like you're trusting your partner to let you know if you need to be involved, you're here. I don't feel like you're worried it's going to get really out of control without your involvement anyway. Some of you might. I mean, let me be fair. But I also feel like you're kind of like, if it comes to that, I can jump right in and fix that. Like, if I need to, I have no problem directly dealing with people. Because I'm getting that's what your partner's worried about. You're like, oh, that's a problem. Let's deal with that problem. And they're just kind of like, let's just kind of ease into it. Let's just kind of like smooth it, like let's deal with the problem, but keep everybody happy at the same time. I feel like they're more diplomatic, more just kind of like. I feel like you might look at it like they're a little bit more BSing with it, but I feel like that might be where you're standing. But they're telling me it makes things a lot better for you to stay on the outside. I'm getting this also in the future when you go toward your partner and you want to know what's going on in this situation, because they're giving me the near future, but they're also giving me the Three of Swords. Like, they're worried and they're upset that you might be angry about stuff, and they're worried also. They're honestly, I'm coming through with it again, so I'm just gonna be honest. I'm getting that direct, like, they're upset because I feel like you are calling somebody out. I feel like you are. I feel like you're, oh, problem, deal with problem, right for it. And you're getting right into it with somebody. I feel like there's a person here. You're getting right into it, but I don't feel like you're like, I don't feel like you're being mean. I just feel like you're like, oh, listen, you can't do that. This is all a mess. You got to organize this. This needs to go over there. I'll help you do it, but we're gonna do it now. And no, you can't just keep doing that. This has to change too. And I feel like you're coming towards somebody that your partner's been dealing with, and you're just like, nope, we're gonna put this in focus. And I feel like your partner's kind of like a little upset about. They got the Three of Swords within your future. I feel like they're upset and they're trying to push you out of it, because I feel like they were looking at the situation like it was getting better, but I feel like they're looking at you. I feel like they feel okay. Here we go. Their interpretation of what you're doing, they think it's harsh. I'm getting that they think it's harsh. And I feel like they're worried that this is going to cause a relapse, because whatever the situation is, I feel like your partner's worried that even though you're fixing things now and you're doing things correctly, like, I don't feel like your partner would argue that, like, you want them to go correctly and you're pushing it correctly, but your partner's feeling like that isn't dependable and the situation needs to perpetuate on its own. Like, as long as you're involved and you're correcting it, it stays correct. But once you walk away, it won't stay correct. It'll go back to its old pattern. And your partner's trying to find a way to get this to, like, gain its own momentum and work going forward on its own, going in a correct spin on its own, without somebody like you having to police it constantly. So I feel like your partner's worried that it's a little too harsh and there's going to be like a relapse because of this. So I feel like that's why they're upset. And I'm getting that there's some type of conversation between you and your partner, and I'm getting you are backing off, because I'm getting that Knight of Wands again. Like, you're like, all right, fine, and you just stay on the outside. But I feel like you're okay with it, because you really I'm coming in. You don't really. You're not like, ooh, yay, let me deal with this conflict. I don't feel like that's happening at all. So I feel like you're like, all right, fine. Then you deal with it. I feel like you're like, fine, then you deal with it. Because I feel like your partner's pleading their case and they're telling you the truth here. And I don't really ever feel like they're holding back the truth. I just feel like they're trying to smooth things over with you. But you could call it out as soon as you see it. Like, it's not like I don't know. Your partner wants this to work differently, but your partner is going towards the direction, like, the situation needs to have some more care to it, a little bit more sugar, so it starts correcting itself, and then it has its own momentum to do things correctly on its own. And I feel like your partner's looking at it as, when you fix it, but it has to be policed and watched constantly to make sure it stays in focus. And your partner's like, I don't want that. I want the situation to be able to take care of itself without you having to police it constantly. Is that where we're going? Okay. Day and a half trip for that one. Alright, so the way this is ending, because I do feel you pulling back, I feel like at some point your partner explains to you why they want this handled a little differently. And I feel like I honestly feel like that makes sense to you easily. You're like, yeah, I really don't want to police this for the rest of my life. That's agreed. But I feel like you're also standing like, I don't know if this situation can take care of itself. Like, I don't know if it can get healed, go back and, focused or realigned well enough so it actually stays on the right track all on its own. But your partner's like, well, we don't know if I don't try. And you're like, well, fine, go for it. Knock your socks off. Knock your socks off. Because I do feel you're pulling back and you're like, do it. Especially because you don't like, it's not like, woo, conflict, woo, can't wait. No, it's not happening. So you're like, all right, fine. And I do feel you step back. Now, I get that they're giving me two cards. Like, I'm getting your partner's very successful with this. The Sun card and the Success card, like, I'm getting they're really making this situation good. But I also am getting, like, a little feel here. I feel like you stepping in here and, like, really going towards somebody and being like, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, put this, nope, that has to go there, nope, you can't have that. I feel like you having this moment with that person, because it feels like a person to me, whatever the situation is, and then backing up, is that threw me off. It's helping your partner, honestly. I feel like it's giving your partner something to reference with who they're trying to help. Whatever they're trying to do here, there's like a reference here for that person. Because I feel like your partner's saying, you know how intense that was when my partner came and it was like this, that, and that. If you don't want that happening again, we need to work together to make this work out. Because I feel like this is working to your partner's advantage, that you did have that moment and you stepped in. I do feel like they're using that to their advantage, and that's really helping things, honestly. I do. So the way this is playing out feels good to me. I don't feel like there's a misstep. I don't feel like there's a misstep on either side. I feel like this is kind of cultivating the situation to actually get to that point where it will get in line with the way it should be, and it will stay that way. And I feel like that's one of the things that keeps it in line, because whatever the situation is, somebody is aware that if it really goes out of focus again, you will step in and it will not be fun, it will not be comfortable, and nobody's going to like it. So I feel like they do want to stay in the right path, the right direction here. So I feel like that's going well. I do feel like this is going well. I feel like everything seems to be going well between you and your partner and how you're handling this. It seems to be cultivating the situation quite nicely, in my opinion. Because you get that Ace of Wands in the future, things are going a lot better. But I'm getting the Ace of Wands also like a fresh start. Like, whatever the situation is, your partner trying to handle it on their own, you're like, all right, let me see what's going on there. You get in there and you directly deal with the problem, and your partner's like, listen, can you back off? Blah, blah, blah. This is what I want, blah, blah, blah. You're like, fine. How that whole thing works out is setting this situation up for a fresh start. And I feel like that's the way you handled it, the way your partner handled it, is cultivating it. It's really bringing it to that next level, so the situation wants to correct itself, wants to get on track and to stay on track. Because if it stays on track, that uncomfortable moment won't happen again. Are we good? We're good. Whew. I feel like there's a lot going on with this, but I'm also feeling like I don't feel like you're going to have a problem with any of this. As long as I feel like you're going to like the outcome, and you're just like, hey, that's what it takes. So we have to go through to make it happen. As long as it corrects. I feel like that's the big thing. As long as we actually fix the situation, good. I'm cool with it. Are we good? Yes. We did touch on everything, yes. Okay. Let's go to Aries single. How long did I go on about that? 25 minutes? I think this is going to be the longest one in the series so far, although I just did water, and you're the second one I'm doing in fire, so not quite halfway through yet, so. But if you ask me, things are are good with that. Aries, single. Messages for single Aries. Messages for single Aries. Empowering information to help them see what's actually happening and help them move in a direction that they want to go in. Single Aries. You have the Star card in your thoughts, but it makes me feel like you're losing hope for something. All right. Because where you're standing is the Ten of Swords, so that makes sense why it feels like you're losing hope. What is going on here? Because I'm getting conflicting feelings here. You got the Ten of Swords for where you're standing. I'm getting there's somebody. This is in the past. The Two of Cups is in the past. I feel like somebody's like coming in and out. Like they're coming closer. They're pulling back. They're going closer to you. They're pulling back. I feel like this just is like this weird ebb and flow, and I don't think you're enjoying it. I really don't. Even at this point, I feel like the good times are just tainted because you're just like even if you're having a good moment, it's in the back of your head like, well, it's just a moment because they're gonna run again. And I'm getting in your thoughts. You got the Star card in your thoughts. Excuse me, and the Ten of Swords. Like here comes the energy, the rougher energy. You're just kind of like you're losing hope. You still would like to have hope. You're trying to have hope, but you're just kind of like, I've seen this go back and forth too many times, and like your heart is pulled towards this person, but you're just kind of like, this is temporary. You're just looking at this like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to me? Like you can't seem to stop yourself. You're very attracted to this person is what I'm getting. And you're just kind of like, yep, here we go again. Like I feel like every time this person comes towards you, you're like, here we go again. You know? Now, this is rooted in the Queen of Swords. And for your reading, I do feel like she's a little aggravated. Don't get caught up in the gender. It could be any gender. But I'm also feeling it's kind of like seeing the situation for what it is, knowing how you feel, and just kind of being aggravated that you're still allowing it to happen because you feel like that's what I'm connecting with. Like you feel like you're allowing this to happen, and you're really kind of aggravated with it. The top card is the 8. Is that the 8 of Swords? Yep. But you're feeling like you're just kind of locked into it. You can't seem to say no. You kind of want to say no, but you really don't want to say no. Like it's just you're kind of torn. You see what the situation is. You see the situation for what it is, but you're very drawn to this person, and you'd like there to be hope, but you don't believe it's really there. Like the Ten of Swords is telling me, you really don't believe this situation has a chance, but you're trying to have hope about it, but you're losing grasp of that hope is what I'm getting. And what I'm getting here with the center cards is the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Swords. I feel like you're trying to avoid this person, but I'm getting is the more you try to avoid, like I feel like you're really like almost like something comes towards you or they want to hang out or something, and you're just like, oh, I can't, and you're trying to walk away, you're trying to avoid the whole situation, and when you do that, they come towards you. They're like, wait, and they're just like, I almost feel like because you're pulling back, it just makes them want to come towards you all that much more. Because I feel like it's about to pop in, like another cycle is about to pop in with this person. Now, I'm getting like this person's around you in the future. I'm getting you got the Two of Pentacles with the recovery. And I'm getting like this time it seems like you're getting more than usual. Really. But I feel like you're looking at this like it seems like I'm getting more than usual, but you're like I feel like you're stepping in that spot where you're like I'd like to believe this is gonna go my way, but I feel like it's been 2 to 3 times at least where it's just kind of come close and then whoop can't do it, come close and nope. Um, so I feel like you got the recovery with the Two of Pentacles. You're really looking at this and honestly based on the past, and you're just trying to really understand what's happening here. I feel like you're getting more than usual though, and you're like thinking. I honestly, I'm standing in a spot where I'm feeling, it's like, all right, let me give it this shot. Let me see if it'll work out. But if it doesn't work out this time, I need to find a way to put this to closure. What does that mean? Because I feel like you're like getting a little. I feel like you're like, here we go. I'm getting that you're feeling like aggravated, and you're like, well, I'll try. But if this goes sour this time, I'm going to make a big stink about it. And I'm going to make it so this person doesn't want to come back towards me. Really? Because that's what I'm feeling here. I feel like you're kind of getting like, all right, you know, maybe this is the time around. Maybe. You want to have hope. You're like, maybe. But I'm going to do it this way. I'll try. I'll give it honest effort. But if this goes south this time, if this goes sour, I don't know why go south is the thing, but if this goes sour, I'm going to make a big deal about it. And this person isn't going to want to come back towards me. I'm kind of feeling that's in the future where you're standing. Like, you know what? All right, I'll give it another shot. But if this goes bad, I'm going to make a big deal about it. I'm going to make a real big deal about it. Which is weird because you have recovery here with the Two of Pentacles. And I feel like this is how you're justifying to yourself giving it one last shot. I feel like that's how you're justifying it to yourself. And you're actually, I feel like you really are trying. What is happening here? Because I'm getting bang at the moon for your potential partner, because this is a single Aries read. In the environment, I'm getting the bang at the moon for this person. And I'm getting like they want somebody in their life. Why did I say lives? That's interesting. This person may be one of those who juggles people. It's the moon card, so something. This is going the direction of something isn't what it seems. Like being at the moon, wanting the attention, wanting attention and getting it from you, wanting attention and realizing you'll give it. And I feel like that's one of the reasons they're coming towards you. But is it really love-based? I'm getting yes and no. It's kind of it's quasi like there's love here, but it's not solely based on love. They want some attention, but they do care. But like, are they really connecting with it? I don't know about that. I wouldn't say they have the purest of motives. I wouldn't say they have the worst of motives. It's just very quasi there. Like, I don't even know if I'm using that word right, to be honest with you. It's just flying on my face. Where is this going? Because you got a card at the end, which is just... It feels like saying you're in control about something here. Because I'm getting at the end, you have the King of Wands with the... What number is it? What is that? Meditation brings answers. See, this is another reason... Where is this going? I'm getting you're the active one keeping this situation going. I feel like you're all in with it, and you're pushing the issue, and you're getting this person to really like buckle down with you some more. And you're like, I don't feel like you're relenting. I feel like you're pursuing this person, and you're just kind of like, this is either going to happen or it's not, and you're pushing to make it happen. This is part of your all in feeling here. You're taking the lead. You're going forward. You're keeping the other person involved. I'm getting the King of Wands with meditation brings answers is like you got to really think about what's going on with the other person and how you're feeling about the relationship at the moment when this is happening, because this might be how this relationship is going to stay. Like, you're going to always be the one in the lead and keeping things going. If you're okay with that, and you might be, then this might work out, because I am getting the stronger you are, the more you're taking the lead, the more you're defining what's going to happen. Because I feel like that's what's going on here. The other person loves that. They love it. And I feel like they're falling for you very strongly the more you do that. But it's definitely, I feel like they're going to expect this continuing going forward. Like, this is how they want the relationship to work. Like, you're in the lead, you kind of call the shots, you keep them actively engaged. That's what they like. As long as you're okay with that, I feel like it can be fine. But I feel like you really have to address and realize how you're doing it now. Are you okay with that? Because the other person likes it, but do you like it? It literally depends on how you feel. And I feel like you need to make a decision from that point. Like, do you want a relationship like this? Is the attraction strong enough that you're okay with that? Or is this more of a drain on you and you don't really care for how it's going? You were hoping it would even out, and the fact that you're seeing it's not going to, does that mean you need to walk away? I feel like the majority of you are going to actually stick with it. I just kind of feel that. Because I feel like you're going to get into this rhythm, you're going to take the lead, and you're just going to be like, all right. Because as you go forward, you're still taking the lead, but the other side is more affectionate. They're showing more appreciation for it. You're getting positive feedback about this. I'm feeling you're getting, well, whatever. It seems like it could be good. It's going to depend how you feel at the end. It really is. All right. I think we're good for this. I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.